Breakfast starts at 6 and finishes at 8, and everybody turns up at 7:30. So it's quite busy down there, but few people speak English.
Good morning. I'm so excited. So last night we stayed in this little hotel. It's a technical name for it. It's for people doing the Camino. And it's an old building that's been renovated to a very high standard. Our bikes are loaded and ready to go, and obviously we're ready to go. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. But just, you see the church behind me up there? It's really cool inside, and it's open for visitors. But the interesting thing is, if you notice this gate here, and then you notice the wall over here, and then if you follow me, this is where we had breakfast this morning. Breakfast was €4. And there's the Tintin picture, and there's the pole across the gate, and there's the church. So the only thing missing is the light pole, which I think is good that they left it out. So I just think that's really cool. So I grew up with Tintin, you know, and Asterix, so I really like Tintin.
This morning, there's a grueling headwind. I'm like getting up to a top speed of like 9 or 10 kilometers an hour, giving it all I've got in parts. And it's beautiful, but it's pretty full on. How are you going, Charlie?
I'm going a little bit faster than that, but it is a grueling headwind. We're riding into the town of Burgos, and ever since we hit the outskirts of the town, we've been on a bike path that just rides either alongside a beautiful park or in avenues of trees, and it just seems so rich, this town. Everything that we're going past is in beautiful order, and it's a mixture of modern and old buildings, and all of it just looks very lovely, and everybody's out because it's a beautiful summer's day, and there's markets, and there's just lots of people strolling and promenading along the river, and there's lots of bike riders and runners, and it just seems like a great place, like very, very, you know, affluent and beautiful. I'm amazed how nice this town is. I mean, like, seriously, every time you go around the corner it gets better and better. This is the cathedral behind us, but there's a lot of medieval buildings. I think that's a town gate over there we're about to go have a look at. And they have lots of bronze statues almost everywhere. And it's just a cornucopia of, like, you know, amazing things to see. And the shops are all opened, as in there's no vacancies that we can see, which a lot of the other towns have. You know, they have beautiful buildings, but almost all the shops are vacant. Here, everything seems like it's got a purpose, and everything's full, and there's so many people out. This is a Sunday, but the place is just thronging with people. Again, it just gets better and better. Look, behind me, this goes for miles. Like there's miles of these sort of walkways, these covered walkways. And then on one side you've got a beautiful stream, and on the other side you've got beautiful buildings. And magnificent, you know, this is a city gate that's just like very imposing. I think it's one of many. And it's just in such good nick, and the houses that are surrounding it and the buildings that are surrounding it are in perfect condition. And the people are all, you know, happy and vibrant.
We just checked into our hotel for the evening, and as you can see, they've given us very secure bike storage in their conference room. And I've got to say, credit to the lady at reception, and I'll send something through to, you know, do a review or something. She was like just a machine. She was the most organized and friendly reception we've had for months and months, and we have a lot of bookings, so very impressed. And this is a really crisp corporate hotel. Hopefully it bodes well.
Today I found out another hazard of bike touring with the Kraken. So the Kraken rides a little bit slower than me, and so normally what happens is I ride out ahead because I'm a bastard, and I make a camp and I wait for her to turn up. And there's all different lengths of time, but usually if I'm going like 20 kilometers I have to wait half an hour for the Kraken to turn up. So I rode out 20 kilometers, I set up a camp on the side of the road. I was all comfy, and then just when I was in total comfort, the ambulance and the police car turned up to check that I was okay. So we assumed somebody had called to say there was a bike rider on the side of the road. So that was nice.
See the yarn bombing, and then come down. There's more. It's lovely. Yeah, there's a little cafe. Did you see the artwork? Look at that. How cool is that?
Earlier today, I was waiting for PJ on the side of the road, which is a normal thing. So normally I ride ahead and then I just make a little camp and I wait, usually about half an hour, depending on the road behind us. So I was doing that, I made a little camp, and so, you know, I got a pillow out, a ground sheet, and, you know, I put my little phone up so I could, and then I lay down on the floor, because that's the way I rock, you know. I might as well have a comfortable camp. Anyway, so I'm there lying, and I'm next to this busy road, but I'm on a little side street. And then the police turned up and an ambulance, because obviously I'd had an accident and I'd fallen off the bicycle. So somebody had reported me as a down cyclist. So anyway, after a bit of laughing, they took off. So there's one of the hazards of going with PJ, or the Kraken. And the Kraken as well, she was like, oh, I don't want to just do a short day today, which we did about 50 to 60 kilometers today. I think it was about 60 kilometers. And I'm like, okay, but you know, we'd already booked it, so I'm in trouble. And then on the way here, she's like, I can't believe you booked so far away. I can't believe it. You're a terrible person. And I was getting in trouble last night for the exact opposite, you know, so there you go.
In my defense, not all kilometers are equal, and today we had a very strong headwind again, but also hills. So, yeah, I think it's lovely that people seem to be caring about cyclists and Camino walkers here. They seem to be nice. Like even the truckies are giving a good gap, you know, and I could hear them decelerating behind me, even though I'm right off to the side on the road shoulder, not actually inside the lane.
And riding very slowly.
And riding very slowly. They'll really wait until they've got a good space they can go out across the center line and avoid that whoosh, you know, like shaking you on the bike and things like that. So hello, Spanish truckies. Thank you. Gracias. You are noticed.
I don't know if you can see, but there's houses built into the cliff behind me. So this is a beautiful town. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful towns on the Camino.
Charlie's read something on the internet that says that you can cook eggs in the microwave and they're not going to explode if you add salt to the water. So I'm just here to witness to see how it goes. What? And now you just...
Let it wait for 3 minutes.
I was really hoping it would explode and it didn't explode. So what is the secret, Charles?
Put salt water in.
Put salt in the water. And there you go.
Well, we had a picnic today for lunch, but if we continued on, we probably would have run into the running of the bulls. And all the people here are dressed quite flamboyantly in white with a red handkerchief. And they've just finished the running of the bulls. As you come into town, there's all these barricades put up, you know, that they're quite substantial, I suppose, to stop property damage. And there's a bronze bull in the middle of the main street as well. Quite savage looking.
It's not exactly our thing. Culturally, not a big fan, but I appreciate that it's something that's traditional here. The lady who checked us in here was really nice. She didn't really speak English, so we used like Google Translate and stuff. She's given us a spot out the back to lock the bikes. There's like a little outside patio, and she said that every 30 odd customers she randomly gives somebody an upgrade. So we actually booked a room that had a shared bathroom, and she's upgraded us to this little one that has its own kitchenette and bathroom.
She was making eyes.
Go on.
She was making eyes at me.
Yeah, right. So yeah, thank you very much. This is a very simple little small town. It's got a couple of supermarkets. It seems to be a good place to stop over. And it's like brand new. Everything is so clean. It's creepy. It's great. Charlie, how's it going this morning?
It's It's good. It's very windy and we're heading off. We had a surprise. Our Kofang video seems to be doing very well, which is surprising because we didn't think it would. Anyway.
It's a bit of a short day today and I'm optimistic that the wind will be behind us, not in front of us, but at the moment it feels pretty bad. You probably can't see in the footage, but just believe me, it's probably, what, 10 knots? So, it's gonna be an interesting day. And this has been a great little stopover. Highly recommended. Like, that's amazing. And there's Charlie. And just show this is open to the street.
It's all a bit windy. Sometimes the wind's behind us, which is fantastic, but sometimes we're riding into it.
You can probably hear it in the microphone on the GoPro. So. So I just got my very first flat of our adventures. I think we've done about 4,500 kilometers, and Charlie is being a hero and fixing up for me as maintenance superintendent. And we're not far actually from Zaragoza, so towards the end of the day, and it's actually from these little like plant spikes. So there's some sort of prickles, some sort of thorns, yes, as Charlie's saying, that have been on the path here somewhere. So it's unlucky, but lucky as well. It was actually lucky that Charles wasn't further up ahead, because usually he takes off. It's just that we're going through a really weavy section heading into Zaragoza, avoiding the autovias, the freeways where bikes are banned. So we were lucky we were together at the time.
Okay, when I go back, this is when I noticed my rear tyre has gone flat as well. These thorns, we ended up removing about 30 of them from both front and back tyres, and we got 7 flats this day. And we woke up in the morning with 2 flat tyres as well. So it was a little bit frustrating. It was hard to find them. Now, we ended up catching a train because truthfully, the wind was against us most of the way and our kilometres were down, and we were going to meet my friend in Spain. Also, it was difficult to find a good bicycle route from Zaragoza to Barcelona. So we woke up, it was blowing so hard, it was stripping the paint off the bikes. So we ended up catching a train. The train was excellent, it was really good. You could charge your stuff on it. And we got to see quite a lot of the scenery from the train, and also a lot of cool towns. So I'd like to go back and revisit it, maybe in a car. There's a couple of mountain ranges as well.
I really loved the view of the coastline on the way through. It was absolutely fantastic.
So we went to Barcelona on the slow train, and one thing is, if you book a hotel room in Barcelona with like one day, you'll find it a very expensive city in summer. So most of the accommodation was like $300-400 Australian. That's where it started. So we ended up booking into a hostel with a private room in a hostel right in the middle of town in the old centre. Great location, for just under $100, including breakfast. Like, it was very minimal breakfast, but it was a big hostel. The room was fine, and it was a bit of a steal. And you can see she's very happy she didn't have to ride. So this is the room. You can see the boxes at the bottom where you can lock your stuff in, and with bunk beds, but you know, it had a shower and a toilet in the room, and it was quiet. It was really good.
Our little nook all to ourselves.
Yeah, I kind of liked it, you know.
I'll give you a quick review of this train ride. In essence, there seem to be 2 bicycle carriage areas, but there are supposedly only 3 bicycle tickets for the entire train. We've showed you the carriage that for us was at the very back of the train. Near where the bikes go, you'll find a PowerPoint, which is kind of handy. There doesn't seem to be any PowerPoints at the seats. Okay, what did you think of the train, Charlie?
Yesterday we were pleasantly surprised. We caught a slow train, so the fast trains went from 1.5 hours, and this train took 5 hours. But there was ample parking for the bicycles, and it was easy to get the bike on board.
There was just one step, right?
Which was amazing for a Spanish train, like amazing.
And what happens next time, Charlie?
We're off to Sardinia. We take a very interesting ferry across the ocean to Sardinia, and we go camping for the first time on this trip with, I think, 4 nights in a campground. A very sort of traditional campground. It was very weird.